Everyone uses Instagram, regardless of whether they have a massive following or not. It has about 1 billion active users. I had a decent 300 followers, which was not bad as I didn't know many people outside of our district. During an ordinary night while watching a movie, my phone buzzed with a notification that Holly had followed me on Instagram. Curiosity led me to check her profile, which revealed a beautiful blonde with over 5,000 followers and about 50 posts spaced out believably. Normally, I'm pretty cautious when it comes to getting followers like Holly. Her posts had over 600 likes, with a swarm of guys leaving drooling emojis and heart reactions in the comments section. Surprisingly, the girl messaged me first, expressing that she found me attractive. She mentioned that she doesn't do this often. As I had been dedicated to fitness, I felt pleased to receive attention from her. I followed her back and reciprocated her compliment by calling her cute. We hit it off almost instantly. We chatted for hours and planned to meet up for drinks the next night. We agreed to meet at Lucky's, but I was nervous since we only connected via Instagram. I parked my car outside and waited anxiously for her call or text. Finally, a message came, but it wasn't the one I was expecting. Holly's car had broken down, and she needed a ride. After reading her message, I had to confirm that I understood it correctly. When I tried calling her, she didn't answer but sent me a text with her location. Upon checking her Instagram profile again, I saw that she had friends mentioned in her photos and comments, so I knew it was real. I replied, "On my way," and set off towards her location down the secluded streets. As I arrived at the location, I noticed Holly's black Nissan Altima parked next to some woods with its hood up, which was an odd place for a car breakdown. However, when I tried to contact her, my calls went unanswered due to poor reception. Parking my car across the road, I approached her car but couldn't see inside due to the heavily tinted windows. When I tapped on the window, there was no response. Upon further inspection, I noticed the driver's side window was now partially cracked, although it had been closed before. With a feeling that someone was inside, I called out Holly's name. I approached the window with cautious steps, intending to catch a glimpse inside. Suddenly, a hand emerged from within the window and gestured with the index finger for me to come closer. My stomach sank as I realized that it was a man's hand. With a trembling voice, I firmly told him to back off and then sprinted back to my car. I quickly made my escape by speeding away and taking the first available turn off the street, constantly checking my rearview mirror. I eventually noticed a car trailing behind me with its lights off. I also turned my lights off, and after making several turns, I lost him. Upon arriving home, I discovered that the profile had already blocked me. Later on, I learned that the profile was genuine, but the girl in the pictures had been hacked by a disturbing man. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only victim of this person's scheme, and I can only hope that everyone else was as lucky as I was. My Instagram account has 1,100 followers, and it's public, allowing anyone to visit my page, view my pictures, like and comment on them. As a result, I often receive likes and comments from unknown individuals. However, one person, in particular, caught my attention. I remember the first time the stranger commented on one of my beach photos, featuring me and a friend in swimsuits. The comment had 3 flame emojis, and out of curiosity, I checked out his profile. He had only 3 selfies, 80 followers, and followed over 200 accounts, including mine. Despite his age and selfie-only posts seeming odd, I brushed it off as common social media behavior. At first, the man left harmless comments, but things turned creepy when he called me hot and beautiful despite being much older. I responded with a simple "lol thanks," but he continued, saying he would kill to meet a girl like me, and maybe we would meet someday. Despite realizing that the man's behavior was suspicious, I did not block him so as to enjoy the free likes. Later, the man commented on a new photo with my sister, making me uncomfortable. I decided that enough was enough and deleted his comment before blocking him. While at home with my sister Carol, I noticed an unfamiliar car parked outside with its headlights off, and I couldn't see who was inside. The car was hidden by a bush, and since we live on a dead-end street, It caught my attention. I noticed this while in the bathroom doing my nails before going out. I closed the blinds since I was in full view of the street. When I left the house, I did not tell my sister, as we usually just send each other a text when we go out. On reaching my car, I saw the mysterious Maxima, but couldn't see inside due to tinted windows. I went to a friend's gathering and had a few drinks, but stopped early as I had to drive. Though I don't condone it, I drove home tipsy, but it was a short 5-minute drive. When I arrived home, the Maxima was still parked out front. I walked towards my house while keeping an eye on the car, but dropped my keys while approaching the front door. For some reason, I was too scared to bend down and pick them up. I rang the doorbell repeatedly, but my sister didn't answer, so I had to kneel and look for the keys on the doormat. I saw the Maxima before going inside and expected my sister to be up, but her door was open and the lights were off. As I entered the room, I heard a faint whisper coming from the closet. I found my sister inside the closet, visibly shaken and in tears. When I asked her what was wrong, she gestured for me to be quiet. I helped her out of the closet and then quietly closed the closet door. That's when we saw a person standing in the center of my sister's room. We didn't know if he was facing us, but it didn't matter. We ran for the car, and he followed closely behind. I managed to lock the doors just in time before he could open them. He began to bang on the window with his shoulder. I realized that the man who had been stalking me on Instagram was the intruder. I did a 3-point turn and honked to attract attention from the neighbors. He got into his car, which was the same Maxima parked outside earlier, and did a 3-point turn too. We thought he was following us, but instead, he drove away and we never saw him again. I contacted the police and my parents when I got home. The police found that the intruder entered through an upstairs window, and I told them about the stalker on Instagram, who might have found my address through a recent photo with my sister in front of the house. But he had deleted his account, and I couldn't remember his username, so the police couldn't track him down. I now keep my Instagram account private and only accept follow requests from people I know. I have become more cautious and avoid posting revealing photos. Recently, I stumbled upon something that has been causing me a great deal of distress. I kept hearing a faint tap on my window at night while I was trying to sleep or doing something in my room. It happened 2 or 3 times a week, and while I initially dismissed it as just bugs, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was something else. It sounded more like something accidentally being scraped or pressed against the glass. The sound was so strange that I couldn't ignore it anymore. I decided to tell my dad about the strange sound, but he also thought that it was just bugs. After a few nights of silence, I received a text from a guy I used to have a class with who somehow convinced me to give him my number. He said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we used to have class together. I just wanted to let you know about this. I stumbled upon it by accident, and if you're unaware of it, that's pretty disturbing." He sent me a link to an Instagram page titled JP Unofficial. JP was my initial, but the thing that drew my attention was my face in the profile picture and 45 photos of me taken without my knowledge. Some pictures featured me at the beach or sitting in my car, while others were taken in my backyard, or even from outside my window while I was in my room. One picture even captured me in my underwear. What made it worse was that the pictures had at least 2 or 3 likes, with some comments encouraging the behavior and even suggesting what they would do if they could meet me. The captions were equally disturbing, with some referring to me as the love of their life, or confessing their desire to watch me. I struggled to process the situation. Then I heard the sound again, the unmistakable scrape or tap at the window. Suddenly, everything made sense, and I screamed louder than I had ever screamed before, and my dad rushed in to console me. I showed him the Instagram page and tried my best to explain the tapping at the window, but I couldn't speak clearly. My dad quickly became enraged as he stormed outside in search of the stalker and reported the incident to the police, giving them the stalker's Instagram. The police requested information from Instagram, but the account had already been deleted. Instagram still retrieved usage details, revealing the account was linked to an old iPod Touch. However, the device couldn't be traced as it was either destroyed or had its Wi-Fi permanently turned off. My dad decided to move us out of the house. Although there haven't been any recent disturbances, I remain cautious by keeping my blinds shut and checking if I'm being followed while driving. All I can say is, keep your Instagram private and stay aware of your surroundings.